Everyone. So end of the month here. This is on the 3rd of August. Unfortunately, I was on vacation, so it was not possible for me to do the video before. But I'm going to talk about all of the books I've read this month of July and what went to August because I didn't finish. So some of them I already spoke a bit about them. I'm not going to delve much more on them, but basically the books that I've read in no particular order, only so in no particular order, we've got the first book, The Claws of Chaos by Gav Thorpe, which is a Warhammer fantasy novel, a tale about revenge, a tale about deception, about, well, living in Warhammer fantasy where even good things can lead to bad outcomes. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to read the second and the third book in the next few months. This is something that I'm going definitely do. And this one I gave it 74 out of 100, so that's good. Then we've got The Old Gods Awaken. This is the first anthology I read this month. I believe I started last month, then it transitioned to this month. And this is written, or it was written by Donald Tyson. This is my first foray into Donald Tyson books, and so far I enjoyed. I enjoyed so much that I bought another book by him, um, uh, another anthology, and I guess I'm thinking, yeah, I did read this one, and I bought two more of them. So far it's good. It's an anthology where all the stories are connected with something that is happening in the sky, and the story is connected. Then the last story, it does connect all the other stories. Well, it does connect partially. If you, I mean, you don't have to read all of them, but if you do, you get some Easter eggs connecting the dots between the stories. I It was very entertaining to read because I usually don't read that many anthologies, but I started this month to read um, anthology, so several anthologies. I'm going to read, like you mentioned, a book. Then, if I'm bored, I go to an anthology and so on. All of these have like different. How do you say? Different chaos, not chaos, older gods. So it's quite good. And another interesting thing is that this edition from Weird House Press. So Weird House Press, they have interior artwork. Okay, so for example, we've got here Azathoth, and just to give you another one, for example, for Yog-Sothoth, you got here. So every chapter, because every story is the chapter, you've got a tale, and each chapter is in one older god. So I gave the book, I believe, I can't remember, but it's 4.5 stars, so it's pretty good. Then we've got the biggest disappointment of this month, which is The Three Dahlias by Katie Watson. This is not for me. This is a cozy mystery, and I could not be invested in the tale itself. So I was very bored, and I could not finish the book. I read almost halfway, 40%, but I didn't enjoy it. This is too slow, too boring for me. This is Agatha Christie on low steroids, if that can be happening. I don't know, I'm kidding. Then I read one non-fiction book, which is not common for me. If you know me, this is like the first one in several years. But I want to read this because it deals with Marcus Aurelius Meditations, and it deals with something that I believe I it's something that I feel and I think about it. So my wife, she's a psychologist, and she tells me that this is something that I should read because it conveys the way, that the stake way that I personally believe. Not because I read this, but because it's how I am. And so I read this book. And I get some quotes and so on, but I did enjoy the book. It's nothing. I don't enjoy. There is a reason why I don't enjoy nonfiction, but I did enjoy this one. H.P. Lovecraft, The Call of Cthulhu. This is my first foray into the novel. I made a review about this on Goodreads. It explains the reasons I enjoyed and I didn't enjoy it. So I gave it 88, just so you know. And I really enjoy all of the pages with artwork by Gary Giuliani. Giuliani. And my only concern with this was that they changed the story a bit to convey nowadays culture, and so all the slurs or all the ways they depict black people or some kind of ethnicity, it was removed, which I I don't understand. That I can whatever, but the problem is that there are some parts that makes no sense. For example, there is a part where they talk about these cultists, and yeah, Lovecraft says they are. I'm not going to say the word because this book, this movie, this video will be removed, but you kind of understand how they depict black people, and the reason they removed that because he's saying okay they are X and sailors, so they are sailors, but they are the vast majority are black and mestizos and so on. And while they remove this, it's like Cthulhu is worshipped by sailors, not by that type or that ethnicity or that. It's kind of weird because it seems that all sailors are bad, but they are not saying that. They're not saying that. He's also not saying that all black people follow Cthulhu and so on. It's not saying that, but it's kind of odd how you read it. And if you go to my Goodreads page, you can read the description. I put the copy paste the information. I did read Hanging House, which was, I believe, my first book. One of the first books I read. I finished in this month. It's a book by Dean Rasmussen, and I enjoyed so much. I bought the second book. Not know when I'm going to read it, but I'm going to read it definitely. I gave this book 83, so it's a 4 stars. It deals with a woman coming home after being, after going away due to some instances about her earlier life. Basically, she sees ghosts and she helped discover a crime. Well, not the crime, but the body of related to that crime. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as much as it. It didn't work out because other stuff. So basically, she didn't. Sorry, I'm really all over the place here. So basically, she helped that body being recovered, but unfortunately, people talk about her and so on. So she escaped to another part of the country. Unfortunately, due to complications about money and so on, she had to return. And as she returned, she starts seeing the ghosts again, and she uncovers something that she didn't know back in the first time. It's very cool to see this book and the three characters. This character, another which is a nurse that helps people have some kind of relief in death, and then there is the paranormal investigation. I really enjoyed this one. And finally, the other one I already talked was Jeremy Robson Point Nemo. This book was the contender for Book of the Month with 90 out of 100. So 5 stars basically, and it's a fast-paced adventure like Indiana Jones mixed with some kind of sci-fi elements and so on. So it's pretty cool. Jerry Robinson can do no wrong. My only concern with him is that the characters look always the same in all the books he wrote. So I can't read Jerry Robson's books in fast pace. I mean, in all of one after the other because of this. Because the characters feel the same, the way they talk, the way they feel, the way they are, and yeah, I don't enjoy that part. So to the other books, I didn't add talk about that. It was I did finish more 3 volumes of Claymore, so book 11, 12, and 13. And Claymore is probably one of the greatest manga out there. Everyone knows about it, maybe because of the anime. I'm enjoying. Maybe book 13 or 12, they are not my favorite, but the story itself is very entertaining, and it's always progressing, always stepping up. When you see, okay, this is the master, there is another layer, and so on. Let's see where this brings us. Then 3 more books. I did read Powers and Principalities by S. Kirk Pierce Chala, which is a short fiction novel, so a collection of short stories by this author. I did bought this author series of 6 books, but I thought, okay, I don't want to read that as of now because it's missing one and I don't read that, so let's start with this one. And this is a short story collection that may appeal to some people and others will be not enjoying this. And the reason is because her talks about several topics that are not comfortable to some people, like the top. I'm not going to delve much more on that because of the politics, but basically the Christianity part of the Christianity, having children or not having children, and other stuff. So, and some of the stories I can understand that some people will not enjoy it because she is. I mean, we can understand her position, although she is not specifically saying, okay, this is the correct way, or not, something like that. She doesn't even tells that, but we can understand her position on it. To me, it's perfect. For other people, you may not enjoy it. So, I mean, this is not for all people. But if you want to read something that may try to, well, just to read and try to see, okay, is this something that my principles are correct? Maybe you disagree with her, and that's perfect, fine. Okay, you may be pro abortion or you may be against abortion. All topics are correct. There is no greater truth out there, and that's it. No, you can have your opinion. That's why there is so many conflicting opinions. Unfortunately, most people don't want to debate, just want to throw, and that's it. This is the correct way. If you think wrong, you're dumb. But there is correct ways and there is incorrect ways for me. But for you, it's different, and that doesn't seem, unless it's something in the law, it's okay. You can be right wing, you can be left wing, you can be pro arms or in their case or against. That's fine. Everything is fine. And here are some stories. Then there are some stories that are indeed some fantasy novels. So you have fantasy, you have thriller, you have all conveying stories that are pretty good. I gave this 74 because not all of the not 74. I believe I gave 75 because not all stories connected with me directly, or because some stories are I didn't understand or I didn't enjoy. Well, that's it. Then I read Sisters of Mercy by Yuval Kordov. This is my first novella that I read by this author. I bought everything from him. He is one of the leaders in the movement of incense punk, mixed with religions, themes, and sci-fi and so on, grim dark stuff. And this is a very interesting story. This connects with a trilogy that he has. Maybe I should have read the trilogy before, I don't know, it does say that. Maybe it connects to it, to Dark Legacy universe. But I did enjoy I enjoyed this story a lot. It's sci-fi. It mixes. It hints to Warhammer 40k without any shadow of the doubt. All of the way the religion is mixed with the military stuff, the kind of mix of humans and machines. So you can understand that this is a Warhammer 40k kind of inspired novel. If it's not, sorry, but it feels like it. The play here, Sister of Mercy, because there are two sisters. I don't know if this is something to do with the music itself. I usually watch or black metal, so I don't know much about Sister of Mercy, but I know it's a band, a gothic band. But in the end, it was very entertaining and left me some good expectations to read the trilogy and enjoying it. The last book I read, I did finish on 1 of August, but the vast majority, almost all of it, I read in July, so I'm considering July. It's The Gone World by Tom Sweterlitsk, which is a novel. It's one of those kind of situations that you may enjoy or not. This is in the grand scheme of things, it's a mystery thriller novel with sci-fi elements. Some people put it in the weird fiction movement. I can't understand that. But I don't understand the Lovecraftian linkage. I mean, I can understand, but I sometimes no. For me, it's not. So basically, the story itself, it's we've got this woman who is investigating a murder, and this is like the first couple of chapters, and to investigate those murders, she must do something. She belongs to an organization which deals with time travel, what they call the deep time, and basically they can go forward in time, investigate what they need to investigate, and then go back and solve the murder, but they never into the past. They stopped to the timeline. They just left. So if they left to now at 10:20, which is the time I'm recording, they will go to the future. They can be there for a number of years or months or days or whatever, and then they return and it's still 10:20. So it's what they call the terra firma, and this is the main principle of this story. So you can't solve the past crimes. Some stuff will be different. You can't really, okay, who won the Super Cup or the World Cup or something like that in 2030, and then go back and bet on that. You can't do that because things change. So basically, you're seeing a future, not the future. And another thing they believe is that when when they come back, the future disappears. So basically, they are just what they called a shadow of a possible world. Okay. At the same time, there is an ongoing thread about another ship that is in deep time and deep space. They investigated a planet where there were some kind of beings, and something was released from them. And it's like a bright light or something like that. I don't understand much about it, but this thing is consuming reality. So it's coming, they are in the future in 2060 something, they come back, and it's slowly arriving to our present day, to terra firma, and they don't know how to handle that, because this means the end of civilization. So they go back to the future, and when they go to a future where that light or that thing appears, humanity is basically death or kind of crazy and so on. So it's kind of so, but not all futures have this thing, which is something interesting and to memorize. And then, so these are two things they are investigating: the crime, which is connected to the crew of the ship that found that thing, and so on. So I'm not going to delve much more on this because it's spoiler territory. I did speak on Goodreads because I made a spoiler bracket, but the reason I didn't enjoy this as much as I hoped, I still gave it a good rating, but the reason I didn't enjoy this as much as I hoped was that too much. It's boring. I'm sorry. That's the best terminology I can give. It takes too long for you to get somewhere. The vast majority of time is investigating this crime and this connection between the characters of this ship, and I believe that could have been done in less pages and more time investigating this thing. And then in the last like 50 pages they solve everything. Well, they do stuff that solve everything or don't. I'm not going to spoil that, but imagine that the story is slowly progressing, then it jumps to the 50 pages and that's it. The story, it's whatever it is. And to me that was a bit boring. That's it. I do recognize some qualities again on the book, on the time travel aspect, on the time travel mechanics, on the information we have today and what we have tomorrow. And what I mean by this, and if you read the book you understand what I mean by this, is that they believe that this is happening, and then in the end this is happening and everything is not happening. I'm not going to delve much more on this book again. I can do a spoiler part here in the end after talking about the last book, and then I can spoil because I must spoil because maybe you can give me some other information I don't have. Then the book of the month, it's Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi. This book I started reading last month, June, and ended in July. The reason is this book is slow. It's a slow pace burner. It's a slow pace mystery. It's not the horror that you know. And if you told me this is a Stephen King book, I would believe you. The way it's written, it's very Stephen King-esque. The mystery, it's there. It's always progressing, and you're always going forward. But it's a slow pace part, and it's well focused on the characters, well focused on the world building, and so on. So in these three characters, and we've got some great information about the characters, about the development of the characters, how they develop due to that drama. So basically, the story is that we have four children that encounter a mystery man, and then mystery man tries to tell them to do some magic. He tells them magic tricks, and it shows them how to do it, and so on. And these kids are so enthralled by this man, they are willing to do anything with him. But there is one situation where he asks them to kill another boy or to send them down the well, I don't remember, but they don't do it. And so the story progresses from there. And this story is told in flashbacks, so it's the story in the timeline that we are now, and then there are flashbacks, and then another story now, and flashback, and so on, and enhance the stories. It doesn't. If this story was told back then, all of it, and then today, maybe this story wouldn't be as good. So it's interesting to see these flashbacks. I enjoy this book so much that I'm eagerly waiting to read another Ronald Malfi book. I gave this book a 92 out of 100. Now, what am I reading? What I left for this month of August, because I didn't finish. I was on vacations. I got two books to read. One of is Conan, the first anthology made by Els Prague de Camp, which contains a couple of stories. The first stories on this world. The stories here. You can pause and see, but basically are City of Skulls, The End of Nergal, Rogues in the House, God in the Bow. I believe they are chronological written, sorry, put here, but not, they are not chronologically written. They are chronological in terms of is going through the places. So basically, you've got the map and is going throughout the places. And how they do this is that before each story, they tell us a bit more about what Conan did and the moving, where they moved, and so on. Kind of interesting. I'm like 2 stories to finish the story, so in 1 or 2 days. Then I started as well, finally, Brian Lumley, The Taint and Other Novellas. I did read only 2 of them, and I'm a quarter in. Basically, this is H.P. Lovecraft pastiche. That's it. That's the best I can do to you. I'm enjoying, but it's one of those that I read and slow. I did not finish The Midnight Mass by F. Paul Wilson. I did start it, but then I didn't took the book to vacation, so I could not finish, unfortunately. I'm enjoying. Interesting is that I'm reading the novel and I remember something that I saw, and I back then I saw a movie that was very linked to this one, and it seems that it's based on this one, but I don't remember the movie. But I'm enjoying the travel between the priest, the nun, and the rabbi. And in August I started The Creeper. One day in and already on page 150. You can understand I'm enjoying the book. Now, this is my book information about the month of August. Pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books. Well, 11 and a half. So pretty good month. Now for the spoiler part. If you don't want to read, don't be here. So, what I thought about this ending and about the book itself. So, as I said, they think that the story, the world, is terra firma in when she's investigating that crime, and she's traveling back, and she travels again forward and back to try to find the killer, and then to try to discover what happened in that ship that found out that thing that is coming toward us and kill us all. And what this book is 380 pages, so almost 330 pages, if I'm not mistaken. I can see it. It's basically this investigation and small snippets of something that is yet to come. So 324, so less than 50 pages. We kind of understand that after all, this woman that is investigating this crime, she's a shadow as well. She's not living in terra firma as she thought that she was living, and everyone thought they were living. The true terra firma, it's the day or the ship that went back and discovered that white light. So basically, we are living in an alternate reality where this shadow, this woman that thinks that is the correct version, is a shadow as well. And so she returns back to the terra firma and stop the ship to go where they had to go and discover that white light, saving humanity. And this is, it doesn't, I mean, kind of weird, because they think that she lived her life because she was a child in 1986 or something like that. She was a child back then. So this ship went, she came, and the timeline, they thought that the timeline disappeared when they come back, so the future disappeared. It seems that it did not. So the ship went to the future, it came back, but it created a new reality. And all of this book is set on that reality. And so what she had to do is to come back to the correct reality, to the main reality, whatever that is, and stop the ship to go through. I mean, it makes the book kind of pointless at the same time. Because what is the correct reality? What is the reality? All of them are realities. They're just different realities. I mean, it brought down, it brought not brought down, but it removed some kind of investment I had on the story, you know. So everything they thought was a lie, basically, or incorrect. So that's it, the spoiler part. So I can understand that it's a weird fiction book, but at the same time, it's not that weird. It's time traveling gone wrong. Maybe they can talk about the weird because of that light that we never really discover much apart from it's coming. Maybe that's the Lovecraftian stuff. I don't know. But to me, it didn't feel. I've read, I'm not going to say hundreds, but hundreds of novels depicting Lovecraftian stuff. So, weird fiction and so on. So, it's weird, yes. It's not Lovecraftian, to be honest. Yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this. It's the best I can do, talking about this without spoiling more the other books. I don't want to do that. When I do that, I usually do that on Goodreads, and I mentioned that I'm doing that, but here usually I don't do that. So yeah, thank you, and well, have a great day. If you read something, if you want to discuss this book or something like that, please do talk with me in the chat. Thank you.